You want me to invest? Like, I'm supposed to do the police work because I can't indict people, and you can send these to the DOJ, right? Like that's how I take it. It's like you're literally subcontracting police work to America, and they can't even police people. We're going to talk Pam Bondi. And so sorry for the Epstein stuff again, but I think it's such a big thing. And again, I know it didn't hurt Trump's numbers that bad, but what would they be like if it didn't happen? And where would his polling be with independents? That's what's crazy. And again, this is what I did predict. Hard to predict what Trump's numbers are going to do. I said probably recover. But here's what I did predict is this is not going away. It's not going away. Will it go away someday? Maybe. But now you have Thomas Massie out there. If the executive branch won't release phase 2 of the Epstein files, we will. Americans deserve transparency and the victims deserve justice. I agree the victims deserve justice. You know, I think Americans deserve transparency as well, but I think transparency shouldn't be the end goal. Justice and accountability should be. To me, focusing on transparency is kind of like a stopgap for the fact that we're unable to hold ourselves accountable, to be honest with you. I would prefer an America in which we don't need transparency because things just function because people have integrity and values. And it's like, okay, well, here's a bunch of documents. So it's like, okay, you're giving me documents. You're the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Are these, you didn't want to investigate these? You want me to invest? Like, I'm supposed to do the police work? Because I can't indict people, and you can send these to the DOJ, right? Like that's how I take it. It's like you're literally subcontracting police work to America, and they can't even police people. So you're just going to get them pissed off that the people that rule them aren't held accountable. That should not be the end goal. The end goal should be literally heads on pikes, figuratively. And I thank Miranda Devine. I had a piece with her in New York Post. That's kind of cool. I talked with Miranda Devine for about a half hour. I think I opened her eyes to a lot of stuff, and that was her words. She says, so you're saying Americans want heads on pikes? Yeah, probably. I don't know the right way to poll that. But when 94% of America is mad about the idea of a two-tier system of justice, and when literally the things that 100% of America agrees on, 90 to 100%, are mostly just the things about fairness, like that's really what it is. It's like if you tell America, hey, here's this unfair thing, they're going to be like, no, that's horrible. Republicans and Democrats alike. Election fraud, corruption. So anyways, not going away. This is interesting. Share this tab and stuff. Jeffrey Epstein blamed Trump for his downfall, accusing Trump of being the first to report him to police in 2004 per Michael Wolff. And I'm just using this as an example. If you just search Epstein, there's all this new stuff popping up. Look how many likes this has. 500,000 people saw this. Will the fake news report this? Trump has done more than any other to take down pedophiles. Like, so what happened? I don't understand. Like, why attack your followers when this is who they think you are fundamentally? And then it's not going away. Here's James O'Keefe. If you have committed horrible sex crimes with Epstein, you are in the clear. He's a very prominent conservative-leaning influencer, journalist, I guess you'd say. And he's parroting this again. It's like the rich and powerful are getting away. If I went to a weird island where kids were sex trafficked and an accuser named me, I would be investigated and indicted. We all know it. And I think America knows that too. Everybody know, but enough people for it to have an impact? Probably. If you manufacture a vaccine, you say injures, you are in the clear. Probably. The canary in the coal mine effect. I think I was the first one to say this. Like last week, this is a canary in the coal mine, in my opinion, for many in the Trump movement that crave government accountability. if you are an American journalist, you'll be raided by the FBI and spend millions enriching lawyers and see this. This is America. So I don't think it's going away. But let's look at the Bondi polling, because it's kind of interesting. It's not counterintuitive, but I think you'll have a little bit of an aha moment as you see like what these things show. It's not what you'd expect. So here's the Pam Bondi polling. And sorry, we have the same thing going on with the age groups where we shifted from 3 to 5 reporting buckets. But this is April. This is after the Epstein files dropped in influencers' hands on the surprise photo op at the White House. And she actually, after that event, didn't have very bad numbers. So this is, what's that, 42% favorable, but only 34% unfavorable. So she's up pretty, 7-8 points, not bad. And among Republicans, 43% very favorable, 20% somewhat, for a combined total of 63. Not terrible. Not terrible. Only 8% very unfavorable rating. They were already calling her Scam Bondi and calling for her firing on Twitter. And so Twitter is not real life. Everything on Twitter doesn't get to the normies, but I think Twitter can be a proxy for how normies might see things, and also the sort of like marketplace of ideas where people determine what the right values to have on certain things are. And it's like, okay, well, if you're Pam Bondi and you see these polling, you're like, okay, I'm not doing bad. Maybe I can do better. And then you're looking at Twitter and you're like, man, they're roasting me. I'm getting ratioed everywhere. That should be like a warning sign to you that you could potentially have bad polling in the future. If you don't understand what they're mad at, see if it has merit and respond. And I know everybody can't be on Twitter every day, but you're telling me that she doesn't have some executive assistant that can't watch her Twitter feed and be like, Pam, your segment on Hannity didn't do very well last night. People are kind of mad at you. Pam Bondi is the U.S. Attorney General. Is she doing a better job or worse job than most previous attorney generals? At the time, 38% said better, 32% said worse. But this is after Merrick Garland. That guy's only Republicans, 60% of Republicans say better, 15% worse, 20% about the same. Merrick Garland, Jeff Sessions, Bill Barr. That's who she's being compared to. Only 60% of Republicans say she's better than those people. I guess that's good. 46% of Democrats worse, only +2 better among independents. Not where you'd want to be. I would look at these and be like, how can I do better? What are issues that matter to people? Has anybody Rasmussen reports maybe polled on this stuff? Is there certain topics that matter to people that we could pursue, investigate, have the FBI look at? So here are the numbers now. These aren't public yet, so you can't find them on our website yet. Sorry, they will be up soon. Don't know when. Sorry, managing editor. But I thought they were important enough to talk about. Impression of Pam Bondi, still pretty decent. She is at a combined total of 41%, down a point. And her very unfavorables are at 36%. So she lost, 2 or 3 points of net favorability. Not bad. Because that's probably less than Trump lost, to be honest with you. And looking at the Republican numbers, her net favorability went from 45% to 50%. Although her very favorable went down from 43 to 38. So there was a toll. She lost 5 points of very favorable. She gained 2 points of very unfavorable. And actually, her unfavorables went down a little too. So this could actually be noise, or it could be a very, 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 very minor toll. And so Normieville, even after her saying the case is closed, and even after 70%, almost 70% of America disagreeing with her that the case isn't closed, wealthy and powerful predators have not faced accountability yet, it hasn't affected her favorability rating. This is so weird. Better than previous attorney generals went down from 38 to 34%. Worse is roughly the same. So, like, not much change there. But Republicans better from 60 to 55. Not a good movement. I would wonder, like, what am I doing wrong? Is there something I could do better? Maybe my messaging's not quite spot on. Maybe there's certain things that I promised that I could do better at delivering on. Things like this. How would you rate the job Pam Bondi has done of handling the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein? 13% excellent. 13% excellent. 20% good, combined total of 33%. That's bad. That's really bad. And I will admit that the poor number isn't higher and that there are 14% not sure, which is kind of high. But 33% combined excellent or good. The lowest Joe Biden ever polled, I think, don't quote me on this, I think the lowest Joe Biden ever polled on any issue was like 27% on immigration when there were trains of thousands of migrants headed to the border. So these numbers are bad. 16% fair, though, combined 53% fair or poor. If those not sures weren't there, like they weren't with Biden, everybody knew what they thought about Biden's job performance on immigration. I think he was getting 55% to 60% poors. So this isn't the worst, but it's pretty freaking bad. Really, really bad. And it's across the board with age. Women are actually, well, I guess the victims were women. Women are actually rating her more harshly than men. It's fascinating. Black voters are rating Pam Bondi just as bad as white voters. They're like 5 or 6, what was that, 7 points apart? Hispanic voters